Okay, so I've got a Yunteng tripod here, and many people have asked me, how on earth do you get the top off? Okay, it may be that it needs a good clean out, it may be that there's too much grease here or it needs re-greasing. A lot of reasons why you might want to take it off, but it's not immediately obvious how you can do such a thing. So let's start with basics. As we know, on the tripod you've got various screws here. This one here, the top one, is for being able to tighten the angle of that top. This one here allows it to swing round. Okay, those are your two basic things we're going to start off by taking off, because those are critical for getting everything else off. But before I do that, I'm going to just remove this handle, because this handle for me just gets in the way at the moment. So let's take that off. Easy to do. You just take the, see there's a nut here on the other side of here. You just undo the nut, like so, and be careful, this is going to be covered in grease. You're going to get pretty filthy doing this. And there, if we ease this out, there is the other side of the handle. So let's just put that aside. That's now not in the way. That doesn't control anything, it's just useful for moving the thing around, especially if you've got a movie camera. Okay, next thing we do is to remove these two screw nuts. So, you can see that and that. So let's take those off, because we're going to find we're going to have to remove those to get into everything else. So carefully take out all that. Don't lose anything as you do. One. And there we go. It's a long screw, as you can see. Okay, and if we compare them like that, you'll see they're actually different size bolts in them. That means when you put them back, they only go on one side each. Okay, next thing we need to do then is, if you look here, you'll see there's a cover here which is actually glued on. Not a particularly clever way of doing anything, so let's just take that off using a screwdriver. There we go. Small cover like that, and inside you'll see there's a large screw. Before we take off that screw, let's also take out another bolt that's going through. So with this one, you've got the cover here, you need to take it off, gently prise it off with a small screwdriver. There we go. There's two mini lugs here which just plug into the lug holes there. So there we go. Okay, now if you look closely, you'll find here there's a bolt which just happens to be 13mm, okay? Not the most common size, but a 13mm bolt. We need to unscrew that, oops, rather we could if we had the right tool, but we don't, because that is too big. Wait. So you'll find that although it's the right size, it's impossible to get in there. What you actually need is a socket set, because that should go straight in like that, and if it's tight you can always use a socket wrench into there, and yep, there it comes, easily comes out. Okay, so we're now going to unscrew it here. This is a very long bolt, so patience is needed. Okay, and if we look carefully, you just take that out, see how long it is, and usually again it's covered in grease, so mind your fingers on that. Okay, then the other side, we've had this large screw. Let's take a large screwdriver and take that out. That seems to be turning quite easily. And with a bit of nimble dexterity, or not as the case may be, come out. La, la, la. Doesn't want to come. There we go. There we go. Okay, now that looks just like a screw head, but in there you've got a little raised bit, and that actually slides in to a metal bit there. So carefully, we'll pull it out with a pair of pliers. There we go, very greasy. And if you look carefully, you'll see that would go into there, you see? So it's attached like that. So, there we go. And now, in theory, all we have to do is to lift it gently off. You see how much grease there is there? And there we are, all removed. Alright, so there we go. Now, when you take it off, suddenly you'll notice, do you see here, there's a bit of metal there. That's very important, that piece of metal. Because what that does is to, when you put that long screw through, it fits onto that, pushes onto that, and that's what puts against the plate to stop it going round and round. So I think what the problem with my tripod here was the fact that had come dislodged somehow. So we need to be careful what we do with that. Whatever you do, don't lose it, you need it. If you look inside here, you'll see, when you look around it, I don't know if you can see that there is actually where that nut goes in. If we just push this here, and put this in for a moment, and we screw it tight as we can, all the way in. And I hope you can see it, but that there, it's only just pointing through. And what this little extra bit does, it gives it extra balance to push into there, so it gives it a tighter grip on the plastic as it goes round, to stop it going round. So that is very important, that piece. So we're going to pull that out a bit, like that. And after we've re-greased or cleaned it or whatever we have to do, we carefully put this metal piece back into this little slot. It's quite obvious where it goes. Put that in there, and like that. And now, hopefully you can see that. It's now firmly stuck in there. So you have to be careful when you put that back onto here that that doesn't get dislodged. So we're now reassembling, having cleaned it and greased it and what you have to do. Carefully put that in here without dislodging that piece of metal. Very carefully. Very carefully. There we go. It's all on there. So now it's a question of putting this together again. So the next thing you have to do, having done that, is to get this piece, and you remember we said it went onto here, you need to put that on here now before we put it in. Okay? So now, having got that, we gently push it down so it slots in, and then, now that it's in there, we screw it in carefully. There we go. Right, that cover which we took off, this one here, we can just glue that on again. Just make sure you don't put the glue into the slot itself for obvious reasons. Okay, we'll do that in a short while. And then what we're going to do is we are going to put this bolt in. That's the bolt that this thing all slides up and round. So we put that in here. Push, push, push. Use our socket set again, 13mm, and screw it up. Long screw, so you have to be patient with this. Yeah. Better if it went in properly, wouldn't it? There we are, it's going in now. Okay. Give it an extra little tighten if we want to. Okay, so that's nice and tight now. Now we can put the cover back. As I say, two small lugs there, can you see them? Just put them carefully in to make sure they fit and snap in. Let's hope it snaps in okay. 1, 2, yep, that's nice and snug now, snapped in. And we put this one back. like that. That one tighten up as well. That's where you want it. And then of course if you want to put your handle in, you put that in as well. I'm going to leave mine off because I actually find it gets in the way when using a still camera. And there we go. That's all there is to it.